How did you effectuate the stop?
I put my blue lights on, and vehicle, we couldn't, I guess he wasn't thinking, couldn't find a place to pull over, so he did pull over at 46th and Olive, which is kind of a congested intersection. You had a traffic light there, so he pulled over, but we weren't out of the intersection well. And my vehicle was, wasn't cleared where the vehicle come up behind me. So as I got out of the vehicle, I noticed a hand came out of the window very quickly and had paperwork in it, which I assumed was, his driver's license and, proof of insurance and such. But I just went up to him and I asked him if he could pull up next to a sign, which was further up, which we could clear the intersection a little bit better. And of course, at that time of day also was busy. So he did. He went on up a little bit further. And we pulled up and I explained to him why I had stopped him. And he was quite argumentative at the time. The female passenger in there was continually videoing to stop. I explained why I had stopped him, and he stated that I was violating his rights.
Now note, people, she claimed I was very argumentative. If you guys remember the video, there was nothing about my demeanor very argumentative either, as well as she goes on with more lies. You'll see. Just hold your horses.
But he did comply. He gave me his driver's license. He could not find his insurance, but I gave him time, when I went back to see if he had his insurance. So I went back, and as I was walking away, he said, make sure you run me or run my information so you know who I am. I continued, back to, I run him, and, as I do through ACIC and CIC, as I do normal, that's just a routine. Make sure nobody has any warrants or his driver's license are good. Everything came back clean. I went back, I wrote him for 52 in a 40. I went back to have him sign the citations explained, and he said that, again, that I violated his rights, and he was not going to sign the citation.
Now, everyone, if, once again, you remember the video, I will even play it later. I never told this woman that she had violated my rights. I never said that. So therefore, when I take the stand and refute it, as well as my wife, that was perjury right there. But of course, you'll see how she just try and smooth it right along, and the judge just keep his eyes and ears shut and sit there like, I won't even give him any names, but he just sit there and just go along with this fraud. Not to mention, she already have claimed that I did not produce a insurance. As if I have no insurance, I didn't show her any insurance. This is what she's claiming, people.
And I tried to explain to him that it was not admission of guilt, that, it was just to show up for court, but he interrupted and said, yeah, he knew everything, that what I was going to explain to him. So I continued to try and explain, but he would interrupt. The lady had questions, so I said, just wait here. And so I went back and asked for...
Officer Fraser, do you need some water?
Yeah.
And it was so nice of the Judge Kearney, to even offer her some water. Me, myself, I was quite parched as well. But no one bothered to allow me to have any water.
But as I said, I went back and as I wrote the ticket, I went back to have him sign it, and he refused to sign it. So then I went back and I called for another supervisor to stand by. And so when that person came back, or that supervisor came back, he had a video. And so when the rest of the stop was I appreciate that. I'm taking allergy medicine trying to.
Now, what you all will soon find out that yes, she called Officer Bennett as backup with the video, but the wording that she gave him, it was to intentionally place my life in danger. What if it hadn't have been Officer Bennett that showed up? What if it had been some hothead showing up because this lady actually said that I was extremely, when you use the word extremely, she said I was extremely uncooperative and extremely argumentative. You know as well as I do, you will have some hothead show up, bam, boom, try and shoot you, beat you, tase you, do all type of crazy stuff because they're going off the word of this little old white lady.
So the Sergeant Bennett was the officer that came back, supervisor came back, he was, videoing, so, the rest of this video. He asked for a sergeant, I introduced Sergeant Bennett, and Sergeant Bennett came back, and he asked for Sergeant Bennett's ID card or a business card. He didn't have one. He had asked for me, my business card. I didn't have one, which he was not pleased with neither of us having a business card. Of course, I had told him my information would be on the citation. And so he was just argumentative, was not pleased. So I told him that since he wouldn't sign my citation, these are handwritten citations, not the computerized citations as most officers have now in vehicles. My vehicle does not have that type. So since he would not refuse to sign my citation, he told me just to write refused on it. I said, no, sir, I can't do that. These require a signature. I wrote, when I came back, I had added the citation the citation of obstruction of governmental operations for not signing my citation.
Refusal to sign.
Right, for the refusal to sign. So he said that was fine, that he would see me in court. So basically that was the end of the stop, and I returned my vehicle.
Now, you say that he was able to produce a valid driver's license?
Right.
And that driver's license is issued by the state of Arkansas?
Yes, sir.
And did he ever produce a proof of insurance?
No, ma'am, he never produced insurance.
Now, you guys heard her. She just claimed that I never produced proof of insurance to her. I never gave her anything of the sort. I'm driving around 2015 Mercedes AMG 350 Benz, right? I have full coverage insurance on it, okay? But she wanted to claim I did not give her any insurance at that time. She's going to perjure herself that way. Okay, and then when I end up calling her on that issue, then she's going to sit up there and correct her statement, and well, you guys will see exactly the fiasco I was going through.
I asked him, and he said no, he didn't have his insurance with him. The female in the vehicle stated we do have insurance, and I said, ma'am, I believe you do. I did believe that they did have insurance. They seemed like the type of people that would have insurance. So I said, I believe you. And I said, I'm going to cut you a break on that. So I did cut him a break on no proof of insurance.
So no citation.
No citation was written for no proof of insurance.
Okay. Now, have you calibrated your vehicle with regard to your speedometer?
Oh, yes, ma'am, it has been. I had radar run since, this is a 3/4 ton diaphragm pickup. I have had it calibrated. I've had it radar run, and I've got the certification on the radar that was run on, this is a certification paperwork on the radar that was tested on my vehicle. So my vehicle is actually 1 mile an hour slower than the radar ran.
Now, no one gets this confused. She did not clock me with radar at my speed. She's claiming that her speedometer is accurate because she had a radar check on her speedometer now, people. Not that she had any evidence that I was going 52 miles an hour in a 40 mile per hour zone. Okay? So let us not forget this.
Okay, and
What is the date of that certification?
It was actually today, sir.
Okay. When was the last time prior, excuse my interruption.
No.
When was the last time prior to that?
I actually just checked it today just to double
That's the
check.
first time ever.
Yes, sir. Besides the factory.
How new is the vehicle?
It's a 2021, I think.
How many miles?
20, I have to go check, but it's 20-something
That's
thousand.
fine. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That was my question.
All right.
I'll pass the witness.
All right. Sir, you have the right to ask questions of this witness.
Judge, do you allow audio recording in your court?
Now, note, people, the prosecutor thinks she's snitching me out by asking the judge if he allows audio recording in the courtroom. Okay, but yet, if you just stay tuned just a moment, I'm going to show you what I had to entail, what I noticed. You're not allowed to bring cell phones there, they claim. But yet, you'll see all these police officers in the courtroom with their cell phones. Everyone else have a cell phone. They're so afraid that someone is going to record this disdain actions of this court. They're afraid of the truth coming out, people. That's the problem. Okay? But what we have to remember, it's not his courtroom. This court building, that courtroom and all of that, it really belongs to us, the people, the taxpayers. They build that with our taxpaying dollars, people. We pay all of their salaries. We pay the prosecutor's snitching salary. Okay? And actually here in Pine Bluff, she is the highest paid individual in the city, making well over $100,000+ a year. She makes more than the mayor. She makes more than the chief of police, all of them. Okay? Let's just keep that in mind.
I allowed it in this instance.
Mr. Tansey, now, you claim that we couldn't find the insurance card and it was never presented to you, correct?
That's right.
You don't recall receiving an insurance card and then telling us it was expired. Do we have a new one?
Okay, well, it didn't have insurance, current insurance.
See, just caught her in her first lie right there. Just that fast. As soon as I took the stand to cross-examine her. Now she changed up the lie. This is how they do, people. And see, the insurance card that we had, yes, it had expired like, I don't know, just a week or two ago. And we hadn't went online and printed out the next. We really don't notice that much on when the insurance card runs out because we know one of the first things police is going to do when they pull you over, they're going to run everything, the tags and all that stuff, and check and see if you have current insurance anyway. Because if you don't, then they know they get to run up some more tickets on you. But we'll go on with her lies here, okay? When you ran the check or whatever you guys do with the vehicle, did insurance information come back?
I don't run insurance on your vehicle. That insurance is not correct if you try and run it that way, so I do not check insurance that way.
But you could have.
I do not do that.
Does that mean you does not do that, or you could have done that?
I will not do that, period.
Your
That's not my responsibility. You have the responsibility to have it in your possession, current insurance, to show to the police officer upon a stop.
Now, no, people, in other words, she's saying she will not do her job. Okay? Just flat out, bam, boom, zoom, and then flip it back on the motorist. Well, it's your responsibility to have it in your vehicle and present it to the officer when, yes, of course, it's our responsibility, sure. But it's supposed to be your responsibility as well, officer, right? But you know how they do. Are you a duly sworn law enforcement officer?
I know.
And did you take an oath to uphold the Constitution of America and as well as Arkansas
The oath
Constitution?
of office.
So you did.
I took the oath of the police officer.
She
I
swore
was
on.
sworn in, yes.
Also note, she do not want to admit that she taken an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America as well as the Constitution of Arkansas. Whenever a public official is sworn into office, that is one of the first things they must do is swear to abide by and uphold the laws of the United States of America under the Constitution. So, clearly, this woman is so against our civil liberties, people. She shouldn't even be a police officer. Anyone that's against constitutional rights for the people should not have any position of trust. Prior to coming to Pine Bluff PD, did you work as an FBI agent?
No, I wasn't.
Did you work for the FBI?
No, sir, I did not.
That's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you reside in Sheridan, Arkansas?
Sir, do you think that's pertinent to this?
I'm leaving somewhere, Your Honor. Note, people, this lady, this Pine Bluff Lieutenant Donna Fatese, she resides in Sheridan, Arkansas. Anyone that's from Pine Bluff know about the racism there in Sheridan, Arkansas, okay? Or at least once was. I don't know. Most of us try and avoid the place, okay? And instead of her sitting up there getting her a job to police her own community, she chose to come on over here to the 70, 80, 90% black city of Pine Bluff and oversee these us ebony people. I'll put it like that. Yeah, the overseer wished instead to come here. Oh, I'm sorry, the officer instead wished to come here and oversee what's going on with the black community instead of working around in her own community, keeping it safe, basically, right? So that's some of the things we're dealing with right here that's coming out. And of course, she did not want to admit where she lived. But see, when you deal with a person like myself that do have money, I can hire private investigators. I can hire a lot of things. I can hire security too. I'm never worried about some of the things that people plant and plot and think they want to do to me. And that goes to police also.
I'm going to treat her statement to the court as being an objection, and I'm going to sustain that objection. You can go ahead with your next question, but...
Sure. Okay. Have you ever given thought to policing the community in Sheridan, Arkansas?
No, sir. I have applied at one time, but it was not the police department, it was the court, it was the jail. That's where the opening was.
Right. The day of this alleged traffic stop, did you know over the past few years I have caused the termination of disciplinary action of other federal agents and employees?
No, sir.
Objection. It seems rather far afield from a hearing on violation of speeding.
I'm just trying to ascertain any type of animosity toward me.
I'm gonna allow it under these special circumstances. Go ahead, sir.
So was this traffic stop targeted for any other reason other than what you claim?
No, sir.
But you testified that you saw my vehicle. I suppose you were pulling out of some, when you saw my vehicle, you said it was
I
going.
saw you when you passed, I was traveling down Olive, you passed my vehicle going down Olive.
Oh,
You were both going in the same direction.
Same direction, yes, sir.
I see. Okay.
I've never seen your vehicle before, sir.
In your written report, though, it does coincide with your testimony here today on the penalty of perjury.
Yes, sir.
And are you familiar with the two-witness rule to sustain a conviction of perjury?
Two-witness rule.
Note, people, the two-witness rule, derived from common law, governs the proof required for a perjury conviction under Section 1621, Weaver versus United States, 323 U.S. 606-609. Back in 1945, they ruled on that. The rule means that a perjury conviction may not rest solely on uncorroborated testimony of one witness. Therefore, you need two witnesses to get this individual for perjury, as well as anyone needing two witnesses to make statements into complete facts. But of course, this court didn't care. Yes, the two-witness rule to sustain a conviction of perjury.
Okay.
Are you familiar with it?
Apparently, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Would you like a copy of it?
No, sir.
Objection, what has that to do? First of all, there's been no allegation of perjury.
Not yet.
Secondly, there's no conviction of perjury.
Not yet.
And we're here on a charge of
The
speeding.
objection for irrelevancy.
Okay. I have a copy of your police report. Your Honor, may I give her a copy?
I got a copy in front of me, sir.
Excuse me?
I have a copy in front of me.
Oh, okay, great. Well, will you please read paragraph 1 of your report?
Okay.
I mean aloud, I'm sorry.
On 4/20/23 at approximately 13:20 hours, I, Lieutenant Don Pertese, was traveling south on Olive Street en route to Murphy. On 4/20/23 at approximately 13:20 hours, I, Lieutenant Don Pertese, was traveling south on Olive Street en route to Murphy Oil Convenience Store for gas when a silver SUV passed by me prior to 39th Avenue. I noticed the speed of this vehicle was increasing as it went around other cars, so I began to pace it. As we were passing Jack Ruby Junior High, speeds increased to over 50 miles an hour. For over 2 blocks, the vehicle's speed was primarily 52 miles an hour, but did rise to 54 miles per hour.
Okay, the day of this stop, do you recall there was 2 people in the vehicle that was in disbelief to your speeding claim?
Would you qualify your statement about disbelief? Sounds like she would be reading your mind.
Okay, were there 2 people in the vehicle that did not agree with your claim that I was speeding?
There were 2 people that were basically saying that my stop was illegal.
Okay. Your traffic citation. Did you forget to write down your badge number properly? Because do you have a copy of your traffic citation? Note, people, this woman truly did forget her own badge number. Okay, I will show you in just a second. She was so intoxicated that day, she forgot. And it's clear she had forgotten. Just look at the citation, people. You see how the 3 has merged into the 6 as if she forgot her own number. She was so intoxicated, she forgot her badge number. That's all it is to it. Nowhere else do her 3 appear to be that way. On nothing else. You only does such a rush job when you been and first said, "Oh well, let me sign my name with my let me sign my name and my badge number 6623. Oh, that's right. Let me scribble in a 3 next to it. It's 3623. Yeah, okay. If this isn't enough circumstantial evidence, then I don't know what to say. I've seen people convicted for much less. Oh, that's right. You're about to see me be convicted of just someone's word alone.
It's 3623.
Yes, the 3 is touching the 6, whereas as if you've forgotten. But the 3 never touches any other numbers.
Other citations that other officers have written.
No,
very clear.
No. Okay, it's just strange how the 3 just come in there.
I invite you to look at other officers' signatures. And now they're computer generated, but yeah, mine is very good compared to others, I have to say.
Okay. Tell me, what are some of the effects of from your training? Someone that's been drinking and driving, that your trainer, of course, knows.
Sir, this is not a DWI.
Now, when in someone's courtroom, do the witness get to sit up there and basically object and tell the person that's asking the question, that's prosecuting or whatever you want to consider, that's asking the questions, what it is and what it isn't? I thought that was the job of the prosecutor back there. But you'll see more of this officers just run amok right here, actions in Judge Kearney's courtroom. As if this courtroom have no type of rules here when it come down to backing the blue. You'll see.
This case has nothing to do with DWI.
I don't recall saying it did. I asked you a simple question.
Objection.
Objection sustained.
Okay. So, Mr. Teasy, are you aware that I went to Internal Affairs right after the encounter with you?
Yes, sir.
And complained that you was had liquor coming from your breath that day?
I laughed at that, sir.
Just answer the question, please, Mr. Patricia.
Yes, sir. I know.
So I guess asking you is what, forgetfulness or slurred speech, inability to formulate a full sentence. That wouldn't have anything to do with an individual that's under the influence, would it? Are you pleading fifth?
Sir, again, I laughed.
Your Honor?
Are you objecting, Ms. Thatcher?
Yes, sir. Honestly, unless Mr. Sterling is going to produce records from Internal Affairs confirming that Lieutenant Fratesi was under the influence, it has no bearing on this case at all.
To your knowledge, Ms. Fratesi, has any complaint of that nature been filed by Mr. Sterling?
There was a complaint, but there was nothing about alcohol in the complaint, to my knowledge.
Now, you see what I mean, people? I filed that Internal Affairs complaint, and let them know and pointed out to them how she was so intoxicated that she even written down the wrong date on the traffic ticket, okay? As well as she couldn't have possibly known how to pace my vehicle correctly. But the response I got back from Internal Affairs, to be honest with you guys, they said that they investigated it and they exonerated her. Okay? They found her to have been just fine. So I can only conclude that what Internal Affairs did, they asked her, hey, Donna Fatizzi, were you drinking that day you pulled that troublemaker TN Sterling over? No, of course not. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Well, you have a good day. Keep on getting out here in the streets. Keep doing what you're doing for us. We really appreciate all of your great service you do for our Black community here. Okay? We really do. And that, people, must have been the absolute end of it. It's just absolutely incredible.
I'm going to sustain the objection to the questions about the alcohol use. There's a procedure. It sounds like you followed it, Mr. Sterling, by filing your complaint. You can amend it if you desire to, but we're going to sustain the objection testimony about that today.
Your Honor, could I play the video recording from this incident?
And I would object. The city filed a request for reciprocal discovery. We provided a response to whatever it was Mr. Sterling had asked for from the city, and they've not similarly been forthcoming. We were aware that they had video recorded, but they refused to provide a copy of that.
And you made the request?
Yes, sir.
And did you get any response at all?
Other than an objection, no.
Okay.
People, that prosecutor just bold-faced lied right there in court to the judge. She lied in my face as if I'm stupid. My only problem was I hate that I did not bring a copy to court that day of what I did respond back to her questions. They just hold on. I'm going to show you the proof. Okay, everyone. This is my request for discovery from the prosecutor. This is what I asked them for. All right. And they written back to me their answers in red ink telling me citation report, evident report, or some crap, because I asked for a copy of the officer notes and all other relevant or electronic related documents. They gave me a little something. All right. And I asked answer, how many traffic citations did Officer 3623 issue on April 20th, 2023? And please list requested citations in time order. You know, i.e. 8 a.m. for speeding, 10 a.m. for failure to stop, etc. They came back and said basically she only gave up one traffic citation that day for speeding and obstructing government operations. So only me she is supposed to had bothered that day. And I asked for any and all video and audio evidence to include dispatch as well. She responded with that they providing me Sergeant Bennett's recording that he had, his body cam. But I went on to ask any and all prudent ordinance, color, or laws. She claims she included that, which it was a little something. I asked for prudent traffic control orders. Nothing there. And just to make certain, I asked all other related documents and other evidence in the government's possession. Forthwith, said request discovery may be forthwith to defended by any means, mail, and on and on. Now, she in return did not give me the dispatch recording. We know that Officer Fatizzi got on the radio and call for backup. So we know there's a record. She didn't give me that. Okay? In fact, she refused to give it to me when I put in a second request. But what she did do, she ended up asking me to provide them with discovery, which I had no problem. And I give people as good as I get. So she wrote down the answers in crap with red ink, and I went head on to her request discovery the same exact way. She asked me for, first of all, I corrected her about my name because she's being disrespectful calling me that. If I had to have my name legally changed, don't play games with me. Because like I said, I normally wouldn't even respond to anyone that does not know my correct name. Because once my identity got stolen, bank accounts got ran through a little, I wouldn't respond to anyone. Anyone that don't know my real name, then there's a problem. But anyway, I answered their questions. That I did. They asked me for person to Rule 18 and all this here as adopted by Arkansas Supreme Court, the city. Respectfully request to be informed of and permitted to inspect and copy or photograph any reports or statements of experts made in connection with the above style case, including results of physical or mental examination and of scientific tests, experiments, or comparisons. I answered her and told her none to offer. She then asked me, pursuant to the Arkansas rules right there, the city respectfully requests to be informed of any defense which the defendant or defendant's counsel intends to use at trial, and the names and addresses of persons whom the defendant intends to call as witnesses in support. I answered her with my defense, innocence. I told her my witness was my wife. Now, I answered all of that, but you'll see how she gets in court and lie and play like I did not do so. Come on, really? Really?
Your Honor, I answered each of their questions. They did not ask me if I had any other evidence to present. They asked me simply my witness. They asked me what I plan to plead, and I told them pure innocence or innocence. And they asked me if I had an expert witness that would be here today. And if I do, please provide that information. I told them I did not have it. There was no question about any other discovery like I gave to them, which they refused to even give me the 911 dispatch call that I had to go through the Freedom of Information Act just to get that myself.
Have you got a copy of your request?
I did. Mr. See it?
No, I remember it.
It's titled Motion for Discovery, dated here, May 19 this year. Defendant Sterling is charged with speeding, obstructing government operations pursuant to Rule 18.2. Respectfully request be informed of and permitted to inspect and copy or photograph any reports or statements of experts made in connection with the above case, including results of physical or mental exam and of scientific tests, experiments, or comparisons. Request to be informed of any defense which the defendant or the defendant's counsel intends to use at trial and the name and address of the person whom it intends to call. And what is the purpose of the video?
I wish to refute her statements. She claimed that I repeatedly, according to her, I was extremely uncooperative and argumentative. You know, according to her, other things that was said that was never said, claiming I told her she did not know the law. I never said
How long
anything.
is your video?
It was just a few minutes altogether.
Did you say 5, 2,
No,
3?
it's not nowhere near 5 minutes.
I'm going to allow the video. Are you?
Now, notice, people, the judge there apparently he don't have time to listen to this case. You know, if the video was longer than 5 minutes or something or whatever, they don't want to hear it. He don't want to see no evidence, nothing. So evidently his mind was already pre-made up, right? You just letting a person come to court and do some talking and playing around just to placate the whole system, when yet you already know apparently that there's nothing you can say or do that's going to change the outcome, no matter what proof, how many witnesses you have whatsoever, right?
Back to show it now.
Sure.
All right.
I also have the video from Mr. Bennett.
And you're wanting to show what?
Well, I can show. Well, this one is before he arrived,
Okay.
which she testifies to. This one is after, but it even have the recording from after. So
And
we can
this
say
is your evidence. Are you saying that you don't need to show the Bennett one?
Well, I don't have to, because it's still the same
All right,
information.
let's go ahead and show the one you want to show.
Okay.
I'll
Yes,
say,
sir.
but it's still a contract.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
believe in signing any contracts. I explained that to the judge for. He agreed. I once told Arkansas governor about it. They supposed to have changed it. I know they did for the state troopers. You come with something, a contract, and want me to sign, I'm not going to sign it. So if you want to write NA, I don't care, but you can give me the citation. I will see you in court.
Well, I will be in court. You have to plea on this date in order
I
to
know
get a trial
about
date
the
to
plea
get me
date,
there.
but I will be in court on this.
Okay, sir, I will write you another citation for failing refusing to sign. Yes, sir.
You did take an oath to uphold the Constitution, right?
Yes, sir. You're
Okay,
just
so
stalling for time right now.
I'm not stalling for time because it took you 10 minutes to write this here. I'm not stalling
I
for
run
time.
you and I have to get all
Yes,
that.
I understand. I understand.
So anyway, what I'm gonna do?
Business card, please.
Sir.
I don't have my card on.
Neither one.
Yeah.
Okay,
I got my badge number 7321.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And mine is here. It's 3623.
You told me.
Okay. Anyway, and I'm Lieutenant Donna Pertuzzi.
Great.
What I am going to write here, refuse to sign,
Yep.
and the reason, and I'm also charging you with obstruction of governmental operations, which is only a Class C misdemeanor. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all unconstitutional anyway.
Okay. In your words, in mine, I don't believe.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You can move on.
Okay.
Be sure to give that back to him. You may proceed, sir.
So, Mr. Teasy, in that video, does it seem as if I had to help you formulate your sentences?
No, sir, it's not. You did most all the talking. I basically couldn't get a word in edgewise.
You may move on, sir.
Mr. Teasy, in paragraph 4 of your report, why did you claim he told me he was not going to sign the citation, that I had violated his rights, when yet the video clearly shows I had never said you had violated my rights?
You were talking about, basically, yes, that's what you were trying to tell me. I was violating your rights and talking about the Constitution and all. That's what you were saying. I was violating your rights.
You even stated that today there in testimony.
That's the way I was taking your conversation.
That's how you perceived it that day.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you also, in your report on paragraph 4, you said I was extremely uncooperative and argumentative.
Yes, sir. That's the way I took that video right there. Yes, sir.
You perceived myself to be extremely.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have to use your taser to deploy
No, sir.
on this extremely argumentative person?
I did not do that. That's verbal. Taser is physical.
True.
Yes, sir.
And when you called for your backup, Mr. Bennett,
Mm-hmm.
you told him the same thing, yes?
Yes.
Now, that's what I'm saying. She calls on backup. She tells someone that she has this individual pulled over, stopped on a traffic stop. He is extremely argumentative and extremely uncooperative. You see how that could place a black man's life in danger? Do you see that? Black men have been killed in this country for far less words, especially coming from a white person. Just to be honest with you, I'm not trying to play any race cards, but just to be honest, have been murdered by the police. Whether it's black police that show up, white police, they all blue. They're all a gang. They are all fit in the category of a gang.
You were uncooperative.
Extremely
Yes.
uncooperative.
Yes.
You don't think that might have placed a person's life a little bit in danger? Another responding officer coming fast to an extremely uncooperative individual?
No, I don't think you understand.
The word extremely?
No, sir.
Let me try and move this along.
Now, see what I mean? Here's the judge. He just overlooked the whole scenario. Someone have just claimed that someone was extremely uncooperative, extremely argumentative. You watched the video, you seen that I was nowhere near all of that. But all he could say, let us move this alone. Let us move this alone because I'm tired. I don't want to hear this. Maybe you need to retire. I hope people come on, stop voting these people in their positions. If you all want change, you have to make a change.
As the court understands that the charge of obstruction is based wholly and simply upon the declination to sign the citation.
Yes.
Doesn't have anything to do with any conversations that were being had between anybody and anybody else.
No, sir. When he refused to sign, that was obstructed.
And the speeding is based upon what you paced.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Mr. Tate, in your traffic citation, as you remember, you wrote the date down as Thursday, April 20th, 2023, yes?
Yes, I got the month wrong.
That was the day that you pulled me over. That was correct.
The date that, yes.
But you wrote down my court appearance date
Right.
for April 5th, 2023, which is 15 days before you ever stopped.
That's correct. I wrote the wrong month date down for your plea date, and I noticed it, and I had Sergeant Goforth to call you. And he had you on speaker. I heard the conversations and know that it was correct.
And how long of a period before you noticed that you wrote down my wrong appearance date?
I went down, I got my fuel for my pickup. I picked up something to eat in the same area. I drove back to the office. I probably talked to an officer, went back to my office, as I said, and began the report. And I noticed it at that time.
So tell us in minutes or hours how long you think it was.
45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And when you filled out this traffic citation, you was in clear mind and head, everything?
Yes, sir.
But somehow you just wrote down my appearance date 15 days before the date you ever pulled me over.
Yes. It was the wrong month. It was the next month.
Are you familiar with Title 18 USC 242?
No, that, I don't know the title.
Okay, everyone, let me remind you, because not even the judge, he don't even know what that is, but he's about to find out. I can guarantee you all that. He's about to find out. Under the Title 18 USC by the federal government, the summary says Section 242 of Title 18 makes it a crime for a person acting under color of any law to willfully deprive a person of a right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. For the purpose of Section 242, acts under color of law. This is what they do in the state system, the police, prison guards, whatever, they act under color of law, not real law. Anyway, under the color of law include acts not only done by federal, state, or local officials within their lawful authority, but also acts done beyond the bounds of that official's lawful authority. If the acts are done while the official is purporting to or pretending to act in performance of his or her official duties, persons acting under color of law within the meaning of this statute includes police officers, prison guards, and other law enforcement officials, as well as judges, care providers in public health facilities, and others who are acting as public officials. It is not necessarily that the crime be motivated by animus toward the race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familiar status, or national origin of the victim. Okay? To be charged with this. The offense is punishable by a range of imprisonment up to a life term or the death penalty, depending upon the circumstances of the crime and the resulting injury, if any.
It's a federal statute. Would you like to see a copy?
Yeah.
Objection.
Mr.
Where are we going with this?
Where we're going? Whenever a law enforcement judge or public official violates a citizen's constitutional rights, the federal government will hold them responsible. It's not perpetrated upon color, religion, any of that stuff anymore.
Okay.
So I'm just making sure she was aware of it.
Okay. And she says she's not, I believe.
Okay.
So let's move ahead.
And why did you write me the criminal charge of obstructing government operations?
Because it's required that you sign my citation.
Required by whom?
That is our requirement, that you sign a citation.
Now, you see, people, she says that you are required to sign the traffic citation, the traffic ticket. So, therefore, if you're not required by law to sign this thing, then how could I have been obstructing government operations? That would be like a police officer telling me, hey, like this one incident, I believe it happened to the boy to the young man in Memphis a while back. The police officer put a gun to his head and told him to perform oral sex on him, or else he was going to blow that young man's brains out. Okay? So I'm just saying, if this is not a lawful order backed by law, and I refuse to do this, saying that I have a constitutional right not to contract, how are you going to be able to justify retaliating against me and then write me up for simple obstructing government operations? There's no way and nowhere legally that this should happen, and no judge that is in any way right should allow it to happen. But hey, stay tuned. Listen to this.
That is our requirement, that you sign a citation. Just say that you know that you're supposed to show up in court.
Mr. Tays, you are aware there is no Arkansas law, ordinance, or regulation that requires me to sign a traffic citation, are you not?
Those citations, since I began in 1995, we have required people to sign those citations. When they had not, we charged people with obstruction of governmental operations from the day I started.
Now, you hear this, people. She just admitted to operating under the chilling effect. Okay? The chilling effect. That is what they will apply to you if you refuse to sign a traffic citation. Let me just go over the chilling effect with you guys right quick. Chilling effect is the concept of deterring free speech and association rights protected by the First Amendment as a result of government laws or actions that appear to target expression.
You please can provide me with the law, ordinance, or regulation that shows an individual must give up their constitutional right and sign a contract or your traffic citation. I'm sorry. Can you please give me that as proof?
I cannot, but not right now.
Your Honor, please let the record reflect that there is no Arkansas law requiring a resident to sign a traffic citation, which would be an axiomatic violation of a person's U.S. constitutional right, as well as the Arkansas Constitution, which clearly states that. The right to contract.
Cited on the citation is Arkansas Statute 5-54-102, obstructing governmental operations. Section A, a person commits the offense of obstructing government operation if the person's subsection 1 knowingly obstructs, impairs, or hinders the performance of any governmental function. It goes on to say some other things, but that line that I just read appears to be the most pertinent. I'm going to reread it. Knowingly obstructs, impairs, or hinders the performance of any governmental function.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, see, people, now the judge, instead of him taking judicial note or making record of for the court that there is no Arkansas contract law whatsoever that says you have to sign a traffic citation. There is no law, rule, or regulation. Instead of him sitting up there and just, this is true, agreeing, because trust me, he started looking to try and find it. He was doing the work of the prosecutor. I'm sure the prosecutor's back there trying to find it. As we can see, the police officer right there, she have no idea of it. So once there is proof that there is no law requiring you to sign it, then what do they do? The judge say, well, I tell you what, I'm going to read you the law on obstructing government operations. Hey, people, guess what? If there is no real law, then how can I sit up there and be obstructing something? I cannot obstruct the officer in their governmental duties because their governmental duties are not backed by law. That'd be like the cop telling me to go jump off the bridge. Okay, I'm over here working. Now you go jump off the bridge. I pulled you over. I don't like what you're doing. Go play in traffic. And I say, are you crazy? Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to get you for obstructing governmental operations. Well, guess what, people? I'm going to get them with something under this federal statute. Judge, everybody else, prosecutor, everybody will be gotten through this statute. I can guarantee you that. Things is going to change here.
I read it myself. Just don't. I did not.
Knowingly refuse to provide information requested by the employee of a governmental agency relating to the investigation of a case brought under, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
But I did provide her all the information she wanted. It's just unconstitutional to make a person sign a contract. So,
Go ahead.
all right, well, have you ever heard of the chilling effect, Ms. Batiste?
Objection. Excuse me for not standing. Getting weary.
It's just, it
Have you heard of
seems,
the chilling effect?
No, sir.
because it seems as if the chilling effect was applied once I refused to sign the contract. That is, the chilling effect, of course, is retaliation for someone that's standing on their constitutional rights.
I am objecting. He's referencing the citation as a contract without any proof or evidence that in fact it is a contract. The contract.
Now, note, people, now all of a sudden, our weary prosecutor who tells the judge she's sorry for not standing, but she's getting weary over $100,000 a year paid prosecutor there. But she's weary. She can't keep standing up to object to me fighting for my constitutional rights. But she's going to say that the traffic ticket isn't a contract then. We want to act, okay, you go to that law school all that time. I haven't been to law school all that time. She went to law school and she don't know anything that you agree to is a verbal contract. She don't know that anything that I sign my name to can be used against me as a what? As a written contract. So once I sign a traffic citation, they want me to sign it swearing that I'm going to appear in court. No problem. But guess what? I don't have to. In fact, remember, I told the lady, just write on there NA. Why did I do that? Because I wanted to be a jackhead that day. Okay, that's all it was. Because she was being a drunk, intoxicated jackhead herself when she pulled my vehicle over and lied on me, claiming that I was speeding. When in fact, that day I was not. Okay? And then we got the lawyer prosecutor here act like she don't know that would really be considered a contract. But bet if you do sign that traffic citation, because all it is a promise to appear, and you don't appear in court, then they'd be able to issue a warrant out for your arrest because you signed that contract claiming and swearing that you're going to appear in court. So how can you play like it's not a contract? I'm not stupid.
Contract actually is his driver's license. He's agreed to obey the laws of the state of Arkansas governing the use of motor vehicles on the roadway. One of those requirements is that if he stopped and issued a citation, that he signed.
I've not seen any evidence of that produced here in court today. Where's the evidence that one must sign the traffic citation?
The court's going to sustain the objection about we're talking about implied consent, I'm suspecting. But at any rate, move ahead, sir.
Now you see what I mean? Oh, but the court, he's going to sustain that. He's going to agree with what bullcrap our prosecutor here, city prosecutor, just said, okay? All right. Come on. But regardless, it doesn't matter if the DMV have whatever rule they have. Guess what? Nothing trumps the Constitution of the United States of America. And then for Arkansas state constitution to also sit up there and put that wordage in writing that says under the privileges and immunities, under the ex post facto laws, that no bill attender, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts shall ever be passed. That means whatever the DMV or whoever she want to say, that once you get your driver's license, you sign to agree with all that crap, whatever they saying, it goes against the Constitution, even for the state of Arkansas, so therefore it's not valid. It's not violent. It's not valid, okay? It's not. Nothing, no laws is higher than the Constitution. And the judges took an oath to swear by it and support it. The police did, as well as the prosecutor. But hey, these are all the individuals that we have in place that apparently do not care about citizens' constitutional rights. It is highly clear that they could care less. All they want to do is just run over you. That's all they want to do. And make you do as they want you to do.
Now, I believe that I have no more questions for this witness.
All right. That's it. What about you?
I would ask that Lieutenant Fertizzi be excused. She's got a meeting with the mayor's office that she's attempting to get to on a timely basis.
Any objections, sir?
No.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let her go and hold that meeting with the mayor. Because once this thing is over, everybody is getting sued. Everybody. Everyone that showed up in court, everyone that's patting her on the back. Oh, good job, Miss Fatizzi. Too bad you didn't get him killed, though. it sure would have been nice. From where I'm sitting so far, the only one that's probably won't be getting sued or in any way charged, I won't even be naming him again to the FBI about their violation of my constitutional rights, would be, Sergeant Bennett. He didn't show up in court with this crap. All we have is her coming in there just with her word. The prosecutor was so afraid to show her drunken video and to let us even see or hear her drunken Mecca call that they didn't even want to play it. All they knew is that all they had to do was just rely on her word alone. That's all they're going with. And that her word is better than mine and I guess 10 other witnesses, right? With no proof whatsoever about any speeding or anything of the sort.
You may stand down and you're free to go, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Call your next witness, Ms. Hatcher.
The city's going to rest.
City has rested. Mr. Sterling, does the defendant wish to put on any testimony or evidence other than what you presented already?
Yes, I will, but can I please call my first witness?
Go ahead.
Kate Sterling.
Ma'am, come forward and have a seat here in the witness chair.
Judge, you read the city's motion for discovery. Mr. Sterling did not disclose that he was going to call any witnesses, so we would object.
I did too. I've written it on that discovery that you gave me. I told you her name and her address.
Where is, do you have a copy of his response? Do you have a copy of your response, Mr. Sterling?
I didn't bring it because I didn't expect the prosecution to play such games.
Okay. Is this Mr. Sterling's
No, that
response?
was like their response they gave me, and they left out the 911 call that I had to get myself. And they kept referring to me in the wrong name. I had to address that matter because, honestly, if I got in anything from the government saying that the Nimrod Sterling is to appear in court, I would ignore it. Because once my wallet got stolen years ago, I changed the name. Because someone took over my identity, they stole money out of my bank account.
Are you saying to the court that you did, in fact, in writing, respond to the city's request?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you put on there the name of this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And since we don't have documentation from either side as to whether you did or did not, I'm going to allow this witness to proceed. Go ahead.
Now, you'll note later that he only let her proceed as if like a song and dance, basically. Because he's going to explain it to the prosecutor, in other words, without him just fully outright saying that it doesn't matter what they say. You know, this is a married couple or whatever, they're going to lie. Come on. Really? I thought this is a court where you're supposed to be innocent before proven guilty.
You may sit.
Thank you.
Do you recall the alleged traffic stop of our vehicle that day?
Yes. On April 20th, we were traveling down, April 20th, 2023, we were traveling down on South Olive Street when we said a police vehicle was behind us asking why.
Okay, so was I speeding that day?
No, you was not speeding because you said you was not speeding and your car is set on cruise control and I look over there on the meter and it said 40 miles per hour.
What is your name again, please, ma'am?
K.N. Sterling or K. Sterling?
Spell the first.
K-A-Y-A-N.
Okay. You could go ahead, sir.
Now, Mr. Tazy had testified that I was speeding between 52 and 54 miles per hour as fact.
No, you was not speeding because I said I look over on the meter and it said 40 miles per hour and you said your car was set on cruise control at 40 miles per hour.
And you recorded the interaction with Mr. Fatasi and I?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because I recorded because I feel like she She was talking weird, and also you refused to sign the traffic ticket for one, and I mean for our safety, and also I smell alcohol coming from her.
When I refused to sign Mr. Tate's traffic ticket, at any time did I tell her that she had violated my rights?
No, you didn't.
So you agree with what the video evidence showed?
Most definitely.
Did you graduate college?
Yes, I graduated from Lincoln University in Jefferson City, Missouri.
Did you study any psychology?
Yes, I have.
In your view, was my behavior extremely uncooperative and argumentative?
Objection. We've already, first of all, she's not an expert. Hasn't been qualified as one. But secondly, we've already established that the reason for the citation for obstructing governmental operations was the refusal or failure to sign the ticket. It doesn't have anything to do with his attitude, his beliefs, his otherwise construct that day.
The court understands, Ms. Hatcher, and the court's well aware of the statement given by the defendant earlier that this is his spouse. The court recognizes what spouse is, that special relationship, and accordingly allows or disallows it, and we're going to allow it today.
Now you hear that? That this is his spouse, and the court recognized that special relationship. So in other words, this is his spouse. She's gonna lie, and you know what? He's gonna lie. But yet we have this woman here that was clearly intoxicated, sitting up there pulling an individual over that she thought was an easy pay increase or whatever they get when they pull people over and get some money off of it, and thought it was an easy mark or whatever. Or maybe she targeted my car and targeted me. I have no idea really exactly how this situation went on, but all I know is that you're going to tell me two witnesses can come and testify to something, and one of the witnesses, myself, supposed to be innocent before proven guilty, but then you have this one intoxicated cop come with no evidence of anything, and it's just fine.
And Mr. Tazy, also inside her written report, she claimed that you and I were both complaining that she violated our rights and that she did not know the law. Was that true?
No, that wasn't true. We never said that.
So you agree with the video evidence showed that it was not true?
But, right.
All right. Mr. Tazy claimed I sped around other cars. Is that true?
I wouldn't consider that as sped around other cars. If a car is coming from another street, you have to move. You move over and turn on the indicator and move over to the other lane for the other car to come in the street. So as soon as the other car...
The witness here will testify to what she saw and heard, not to give an editorial about what cars do generally. We're talking about what happened in this instance.
I think she's explaining what I did, yes?
Well, she's saying...
Okay. Just tell what I did that day.
That day you move over from the right lane and put your indicator to the left lane in order for the other car to come over. And as soon as the other car come over, you move over, you turn on your indicator and move over back to the slow lane.
Okay. And you once was Lincoln University's track star, right?
Yes.
Objection.
I'm leading somewhere.
Ms. Hatcher, first, your objection is well placed, but I find that it's easier to let folks. I want to hear what everybody wants to say as best.
Yeah, he want to hear what everyone want to say because his mind already made up anyway, right? So just let him talk.
You could know what. Anyway, I'm going to let you move ahead very freely, so we can get done.
Yeah, so we can get this over.
Your experience in track. Have you ever paced someone?
Yes, I have run the 4x4, the 400 meter, the 4 hurdles, cross country.
This is not relevant.
Just your pacing.
Yes, whenever you're pacing that person is going to be in front of you. You're going to be behind them. So you're going to go faster behind them in order for you to catch up with them. And that's the way you pace a person.
This is not relevant. I understand what you're doing. We're talking about a car and somebody running. Let's move on.
So it's not relevant to show the example how you have to increase your speed in order to catch up to the other object. So when Fatisi talking about that, she believed I had been going 52 to 54 or whatever amount miles per hour she claimed, because she had to go that fast just to catch up with me, and still stayed at least a block behind, as she so-called paced me for a block, she say. That's supposed to have proven that. But me letting a track star explain the whole range of pacing is irrelevant to the judge.
Okay. All right. Well, I have no more questions.
All right. You may say. Ms. Hatcher, do you have questions?
I do, but I'll pass the book.
Okay. You may stand down now.
Thank you.
Any further testimony?
I'll call myself.
All right, come forward. Begin when you're ready.
Jeez. All right. The day in question. I was traveling down Olive Street. I had a headache. Put my car on cruise control. That's what I did. I don't care for driving that much. I do like to be chauffeured. But anyway, I put it on cruise control. I was driving along. Cars came from the side at times. I didn't want to hit on the brake, take it off cruise control. So I would move over to the passing lane. Once I get around them that just pulled out, I move back over to the slow lane. I don't know if at times she's seen me do that, apparently. And I kept proceeding when I saw her blue lights, maybe a block or so away. And I told my wife, I said, police behind us. She asked me, well, what did you do? I said, I haven't done anything. She said, were you speeding? No, the car's on cruise control. So I end up pulling over. Miss Fatisi come. I just handed her, as soon as I pulled over and she got out, I just had my driver's license, proof of insurance, and car registration, just stuck it out the window so she could just get it, do whatever she gonna do. She takes it, saying some of the stuff I did tell her, just please do whatever you want to do. You know, she goes back to the car, come back with the traffic citation, and I told her, as you can see on the video, I'm not wanting to sign this. She's trying to compel me to sign it, and I'm trying to explain to her that I do have a constitutional right not to sign this. I've taken it up with the governor before, and that's why the state troopers no longer trying to compel somebody to sign something.
Which governor was that?
Oh, man. I gave him a Christmas present.
That's okay then.
Okay. Anyway, so of course, from there, she tell me, well, if you don't sign it, I'm going to write you up. I had to help her words. She's going to give me a citation for refusing to sign. Told her, okay, you know. And from there, it was basically over. I got the citation, went on about my way.
All right. Ms. Hatcher, do you have questions of this witness?
Mr. Sterling, has your vehicle been similarly calibrated for speedometer accuracy?
No, I've never had it calibrated for that.
And when you say that you were using your cruise control, most people don't use cruise control within the city limits because you're stopped at stop signs and that sort of thing, and you didn't want to apply your brakes. Why were you driving on cruise control?
had a limo and someone chauffeuring you around?
Certainly, but not within the city limits when I'm driving the car.
So I do not care for driving. I've been driving here, my Arkansas driver's license.
My question to you
Since
was
I was
why were
14
you,
years
my
old.
question to you,
Note, people, now the prosecutor in this circus is just going to talk right over the witness. She's not even going to allow the witness to finish saying whatever the witness wished to say. She's just gonna go right on, talk right over the witness. And of course, I was talking to, because I'm just not gonna be shut up. But then I sit there and I thought to myself, after looking over at the judge and seeing this whole clown act in this circus, and said, I got more class and tact than this. So I just shut up and let her do her talking.
was why were you operating your vehicle on cruise control?
I had a headache that day. Does not really care for driving. And I was just smooth going.
Okay. Would you say that your headache impaired your ability to operate the vehicle within the city limits according to the speed limit that was posted?
No, I would say maybe Ms. Fatizzi impaired intoxication made her think that I was traveling faster than I was.
Sir, you've offered no evidence that Lieutenant Fertizzi was under the influence of alcohol.
No one offered evidence that she wasn't.
She offered evidence that you were speeding. You were driving
I've seen no
52
evidence.
miles. You were driving 52 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone.
I only heard her testimony, and I hear testimony from two witnesses that say otherwise.
Well, sir, she also offered evidence that her vehicle had been calibrated.
Where's the radar evidence?
The radar evidence was provided in the certificate she offered.
Do you have other questions, Ms. Hatchett?
No, I'll pass it.
All right. Anything else you want to offer, Mr. Sterling?
Your Honor, unless I am delusional being a human rights consultant, if someone sits there and stand on their constitutional rights, no other law or anything else trumps your constitutional right. And I have a constitutional right not to sign any contract that I wish. It's even in Arkansas. And traffic ticket or not, I should not have the chilling effect applied to me and retaliated against by getting an obstructing of government operations. That's all I have to say.
All right. You'll go to the podium, please, sir.
Oh, to the podium?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Mr. Sterling, based upon the testimony and evidence presented to the court makes a finding that you're guilty on the charge of speeding, and the court assesses the standard penalty of $165 on that charge of speeding. The court makes a finding that you're guilty on the charge of obstruction of government operations, and assesses the standard penalty of $340. Of course, we're going to set a deadline to pay those fines by September 29.
Your Honor, I do wish to appeal.
Yes, sir. This lady will assist you in that. You'll have a seat to your left, sir.
Well, if you guys stay to the end of all that, dealing with this trial, then you see what I'm saying. I put it to you like this, though. The state troopers, they were smarter than Pine Bluff and them here. They knew better. Pine Bluff and them, according to everybody, have fallen into the trap that I was hoping they would. So from there, I just gotta show them exactly what I can do now. And hey everyone, I just want to go ahead and leave you with a memory of this one. You know, something you didn't hear was her dispatch call to Mecca, where you will be able to tell even her intoxication, definitely, by the way she was on the phone with dispatch, calling for a backup. But, you know how they was doing in the court. That's why now we're getting to go to the circuit court with this. And of course, if they want to run a kangaroo style court, I have no problem going to the Arkansas Supreme Court. In the end, I'm just so happy Pine Bluff is falling into the trap that I was so hoping they would.
127, 1075. 127, go ahead. I think we're going to be at about 4610 Olive. The Adam Ida X-ray. 81 Zebra, Adam Ida X-ray. 81 Zebra. Yeah, about 46 and Olive with the gray Mercedes SUV. 127. 127, everything 10-4. Yeah, what's it? Right, citation. 127 City. 127, go ahead. We got a supervisor, another supervisor around. I need them here for a witness. No problems with this individual. 10-4, American 129, 46th and South Olive. Can you assist 127, please? Yeah, 201, that would be perfect. 10-9 unit, on traffic. 127, did you have traffic? I was just advising 201, a camera would be perfect. 10-4. 127's Adam Field Release. Lead incident number. 10-4, 127, your incident number is 11332. 11332.